Welcome everybody back to DHS SportsCenter. I'm Ben Smith and thank you all for tuning in. On today's show we'll have interviews from the boys and girls basketball team to talk about how their team is doing this season. And later, midway through the show, we'll have Will's Weekly Sports News. So stay tuned for that and more on DHS SportsCenter. Let's go!
Cafe Tuesday, every Tuesday. Join us next week for your hot cup of coffee.
Welcome everybody back to DHS SportsCenter. I have Adam McGower and Hunter Madison on the show. Two players from the boys basketball team. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. So tell us about your season so far.
We're 9-1 right now. We've beat some pretty tough teams like Brockton, and we're just hoping to continue this winning streak and just keep going up from here.
Yeah, this year you have a new coach, Coach Nick Simonetti. Last year you had Coach Granfield. How do you think Coach Simonetti has done for your team this year?
I think he's done a great job. He's really brought us all together, and he's bringing a lot of energy to the team, and just like we play more confident, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. He's a young coach, but he still has a good sense of the game, as he was a 1,000-point scorer, so he understands the game well and he teaches us well.
Excellent, excellent. Well.
And for you guys, starting from the beginning of the season when you were first practicing to where you are now, how do you think the team has developed so far working together?
I feel like we've all sort of came together. We're all closer friends. Really, like the chemistry developed, and that's obviously going to help you on the court when you're trying to win games as a team.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten over that hump from last year, where there was a lot of games that were winnable, but now this year we can stick together and win those games and push through.
Yeah, teamwork is really key in your situations, as you know. I know, Hunter, you too had a good season so far. Last game, I think you averaged around 29 points with Aiden Smith as well, and Adam also a really strong player, bench player as well, on the basketball team. But anyways, shifting gears from there. How do you guys get along with your teammates this season? How do you guys get along really well?
Well, we all get along pretty well. We're all really close friends. And like I said, compared to last year, we were more distant. This year, we're more like together. And there's more like joking around, which is like good sometimes because obviously you can tell that there's a better bond being built.
Yeah, there's not really a large age gap anymore. Like this year, it's mostly seniors and juniors, so we're like more familiar with each other and we just connect to each other better.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to talk about that Brockton game where the first time you beat them in 15 years. How do you guys feel about that win?
It was a crazy win. I knew we hadn't beat them in a while, so when we did it, it felt really good to accomplish that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last time we played them at their home, we lost by 20. So it felt good having a different outcome this time.
Yeah. Well,
one thing that I've noticed from a lot of our home games is the crowd has been very loud and very present for you guys, and it seems like it's been growing each game. How do you think the crowd has affected you guys? Has it supported you, How do you like it?
I love the crowd. Looking up into the stands and having a big student section that obviously adds a lot of momentum to your side right before the game even starts, and especially in that New Bedford game, we had student section on our side helping us get that slight advantage over them and coming out with a win over an undefeated team.
Yeah, I feel like the large crowd helps just give a ton of energy and helps us play at a faster pace. And usually when there's more people on our side than their side, it can help give us that little uplift.
Yeah. Speaking of the New Bedford game, that game we were able to honor our great coach from Dartmouth High School, Steve Gaspar. Just tell us how you feeling about that. It was a really good ending up. Like everyone was showing up to the event.
Yep.
So
yeah, it was a great night to honor him. He coached my dad back in the day, and my dad learned a lot from him, which my dad was able to pass those things down to me. So it was just great seeing him get honored like that.
Yeah, it was nice to see a lot of his old players come out and support and stay after for our game. And overall, it was just a great night, and there was a lot of energy.
yeah, how do you want to honor his legacy as well?
I feel like now that the court is named after him, we just got to keep winning games, show people what Dartmouth basketball is all about, and when the teams come to play us and they see that name on that court, then they know there's a true, strong meaning behind that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we should just keep holding the values that he honored and keep playing the way that he had his teams play and keep respecting his name.
So one question I particularly had, you guys said that there's a lot of juniors and seniors on the team. These are guys that you guys have been playing with for a while. How do you feel playing with these specific teammates and seeing the success you've had this season? You've been playing with them for so long. How does it feel to share the court with them?
It feels great, especially with the success we're having right now. We've all came in at pretty much the same time, and we've all developed extremely over these past couple of years, and now it's starting to show with our record, and we're just winning more games, having more fun. It's just overall I'm loving it.
Yeah, the same group of guys that we have now has been playing together for a couple of years now. It's just now we're all more developed and we've came together as a team, which is why I think we're seeing so much success.
Yeah, and this is an excellent story that we're hearing from your team. Going back last year, having one of the worst records in the conference. I think you guys won 6 games last year.
8 and 12.
8 and 12. And this year, you guys have been really growing, and also a young team still. And I'm just proud of you guys. You guys are working your blood, sweat, and tears off. I didn't expect you guys having a good season, but you guys put all the work in, and Coach Simonetti also puts some good work as well. Anyways, thank you guys for coming in on the show today, and I'll see you around soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DHS News. I'm your host, Ella Gates. This just in. Do you know the rules of the road when walking or biking to school? Well, we have a reporter, Bella Rabello, live on the scene outside of our school, here to shed some light on today's topic. Take it away, Bella.
That's right, Ella. Road safety goes way beyond just wearing helmets and looking both ways at crosswalks.
Can you tell us more about road signs and what they are?
Signs like school speed limit signs and crosswalk assembly signs are important to keeping students and pedestrians safe.
Are there any street markings that people should be aware of when out on the street?
Sharrow markings, which are represented by a green stripe with white arrows, indicate that the street is being shared by drivers and bikers. Drivers should also be aware of bike boxes. These ensure the safety of our bikers as they commute.
How can other drivers and pedestrians avoid tragedies like this?
Drivers, bikers, and pedestrians can all avoid tragic accidents by being aware of each other and road signs. Back to you, Ella.
This has been DHS News.
Hello, and welcome back to Will's Weekly Sports News, my segment where I give you the latest buzz in all my favorite professional sports. To start us off, let's talk about the NFL playoffs. Taking a look at the wild card round, kicking us off on Saturday, the Seattle Seahawks traveled to Levi Stadium to play the San Francisco 49ers. In what was a competitive, close first half of football, In the second half, the 49ers completely took off and would beat the Seahawks 41-23. Saturday night's game is a close one in the AFC between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chargers came out the gate leading at halftime 27-7, but Trevor Lawrence and the Jags would go on to make a crazy comeback in the second half, scoring 24 points and holding the Chargers to just a field goal. The Jaguars win 31-30. The Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills get us started on Sunday, where Dolphins rookie 7th-round pick Skylar Thompson makes a start for the injured Tua Tagovailoa. Unfortunately, through a hard-fought game by the Fins, it was not enough to take down Josh Allen and the Bills, as Buffalo wins 34-31. Hitting the middle of the road on Sunday, the New York Giants travel north to take on the Minnesota Vikings. The Giants clearly showed how badly they want to be here, as they take down the Vikings 31-24 in an upset win. Sunday night had a lot of hype going into this game between AFC North division rivals, the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Although there was no Lamar Jackson, the Ravens fought hard but came up short in a 24-17 loss to the Bengals. And finally, on Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys traveled to Tampa to play Tom Brady and the Bucs. The Cowboys would win 31-14, a comfortable 17-point win. However, I would be remiss to mention Cowboys kicker Brett Maher went 0 for 4 on PATs. That is just crazy to think about in a playoff game. Moving on from football, I think this might just be the craziest week of UFC news ever. Let's start with the heavy hitter. Francis Ngannou turned down a contract proposed by the UFC that would make him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company. Ngannou turned down that offer, and with that was stripped of his heavyweight belt. He was cut by the UFC and is now currently a free agent. And who is coming to try and steal that vacant heavyweight title, you may ask? None other than Jon Jones, who will be making his return to the octagon and his heavyweight debut against #1 contender Ciryl Gane on Saturday, March 4th at UFC 285 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Not only has this heavyweight drama been going on, but a couple other big fights have been announced. The UFC 286 main event is official. On March 18th at the O2 Arena in London, Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman will have their trilogy fight for the welterweight championship of the world. The UFC also announced the co-main to this card is a lightweight bout between #3 Justin Gaethje and #6 Rafael Fiziev. Going back to UFC 285, the co-main to that Jones fight will be the Women's Flyweight World Championship, as champ Valentina Shevchenko will look to add another title defense against #4 ranked Alexa Grasso. March 11th, UFC Fight Night 221 was supposed to be headlined by Jamal Hill and Anthony Smith, a light heavyweight bout. But as we all know, Jamal Hill is fighting for the vacant belt this Saturday, and we need a new main event for this card. The UFC announced a bantamweight fight between #2 ranked Peter Yan and #3 ranked Merab Dvalishvili. A super fun fight where I'm 100% rooting for Peter Yan. And that's it for this week's edition of Will's Weekly Sports News. A shorter episode, but stay tuned for next week.
Welcome everybody back to DHS SportsCenter. Now I'm here with two players from the girls basketball team, Catherine Cheeseborough and Remy Barber. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us about your season. How has it been so far?
It's been going pretty good. We've had a lot of close games so far, and we've been really competitive throughout the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. You've had a really, you've lost a big senior last year, Casey Oliver, and right now at the moment you have a new head coach, Coach Jalber. How is he doing so far?
He's really great. The girls have a tight relationship with him, especially because he was the JV coach and varsity assistant last year.
Yeah.
So he's doing really well, and all the girls know him already. So it's really fun.
Yeah, and you have a really young team also. There's a lot of playmakers on your team as well. Like Catherine, you so far one game I think you got 35 points. That was the New Bedford game.
Crazy.
And yeah, it was. You guys are a really big, really good team. Well,
Just curious about you guys' season so far. Is there any team that you've played or that you're going to play in the future, like a matchup that you're very excited for? A certain team maybe?
I think all the matchups were all the league games that we play against like BR, Durfee, New Bedford, Brockton. Like those are all really good games because I think we're all really competitive with each other. So those are good games to look forward to for us.
Yeah. When we play against them too, we tend to play up to their level. So it's like we play at our best when we play better competition. So.
yeah. So tell us about your connection with your teammates. How are you guys connecting really well?
Well, some of the girls we have played with other sports for a while, so we already have that connection. And then the incoming freshmen on our team, we've known them from like summer league and then other sports too. So we've been like really welcoming and trying to get everyone like together and involved.
Yeah, we hang out a lot. We talk a lot at practice. So, yeah, we're getting super close. It's fun.
Yeah, as coaches say, in sports coaching matters and all this kind of stuff like that.
Going from when your season started and you guys first started practicing with your teammates to where you are now, how do you think the team has kind of grown throughout the season, if you've seen any growth at all?
I think we've started to like take it more seriously and like actually want to get better and win these games because like we know what's at stake, which is like the tournament and stuff. So we want to get there and have good seating for it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So what do you so far, like I just said earlier, losing Casey Oliver last year, how do you think the team has been growing?
I mean, obviously that was a big spot to fill, and I think one of our freshmen, Lily Ganji, has been doing a very good job with that. And I think everyone just realizes that they have to step up even more than they did last year. And I think we've been all stepping up pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like you just said, a lot of new freshmen just joined the team. Last year you were a freshman. Just tell us, as a freshman, how did it feel to be on the varsity team?
I mean, obviously at first I was a little nervous, but once I knew that I made the varsity team, I knew that I was there for a reason, and I just played with a lot of confidence.
As a matter of fact, you did play for the varsity last year as well. How did you like?
It was super nerve-wracking. Like the first week, it was super nerve-wracking, but I was surrounded by a great group of people who like made me want to be there and made it a lot of fun.
Well,
and one thing I've noticed in you guys' home games is our Dartmouth crowd seems to be very present there and very active cheering for you guys. Do you guys at all like notice the crowd, or does it motivate you maybe to see all of your peers and your classmates in the student section, or your parents and your family out in the crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so fun. I love it. I love seeing my family and my friends there. But like when we're playing, I feel like I zone it out, so I don't notice it as much. But
Yeah, I agree. I kind of don't really realize that they're there, but just feeling the energy from the crowd and then obviously from the sideline is just so nice to feel.
looking forward into the future, would you still continue playing girls basketball going on from high school to college and maybe to the pro levels when?
I mean, I hope to play college basketball. It's what I've wanted to do ever since I was young.
I don't think I want to play in college, but I just love basketball, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one more thing.
And I know you guys, kind of going off my last question about the crowd, but would you guys say you have any big supporters at all that push you to want to get better each day going out there and playing?
I think our teammates are like a super big part of that. Like even when we're not in the game, we're always like cheering each other on and supporting each other. So that's like a really big part of it. And everyone's families are always there too and super loud, so it's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So guys, I want to thank you all for coming on the show today, and I hope to see you around soon. Good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of DHS SportsCenter. Stay tuned for our next episode where we have our big Super Bowl show. If you like DHS SportsCenter, if you want to see more content here on DHS TV Media, subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos coming out soon on DHNN, Shade Talk, Ryanology, Game Room, etc. See you all next time here on DHS SportsCenter.